going down.
Gamble responsibly. Gamblingcare.ie.
Now then, you're welcome back. So we interrupted the football show. If you're just tuning in, Micheál Martin and Leo Varadkar have just been speaking. We brought you the addresses live on the air. The short version is that there are obviously major concerns about the situation nationwide, not just in the border counties, but the data out of the north, hugely worrying, said Micheál Martin. Donegal, Monaghan and Cavan will go to level 4 restrictions. So nationally, Micheál Martin was making the point that the rate per 100,000 is 190 at the moment over the past week, 190. In Monaghan, it's currently 360. In Donegal, it's 353. And then Cavan, worst of all, is 571. So Donegal, Monaghan, Cavan will go to level 4. That means no visitors to homes, wedding attendees down to 6, gyms, pools, leisure centres will close. Further restrictions on hotels and B&Bs, and everybody to work from home if at all possible, except for the most essential of workers. There was no clarification on the retail situation. Sean Defoe mentioning before the outbreak there has been some concern of different restrictions either side of the border might lead to cross-pollination. No detailed clarification on the retail situation or the off-licence situation, but that will come, I suspect, in due course. As for the rest of the country, we are 1 week outside of Dublin into level 3, a bit longer in Dublin, and not being adhered to was the general gist of Micheál Martin's point, and Leo Varadkar as well. The level 3 restrictions not being adhered to, therefore additional restrictions to be put in place from tomorrow midnight. So from tomorrow midnight until Tuesday, 10th November, tomorrow midnight, we will have no visitors to homes or gardens. In outdoor settings, 6 people from no more than 2 households can gather socially distant. No exemption anymore for sporting bodies. That's been removed. So the club championships will all be very much on hold, I would suspect. And people should not travel to workplaces unless they have to. And there is an intent to get face masks being worn as opposed to visors at workplaces. So that's from tomorrow midnight nationwide. Leo Varadkar finished off by saying we are more likely in counties to be going to level 4 than level 2 or 1. So that is where we are. A back to basics approach is what they were calling for. That's all just happened in the last 20 minutes or so. Back to the football. Stephen Kenny, we interrupted him. He was speaking after Ireland's 1-0 defeat. We have Stephanie Roche and Richard Dunne waiting patiently, but we will finish off what Stephen Kenny had to say first.
The goal that you conceded, that quickly taken free kick, a goal kick I should say, do you get angry about the way that was done, or do you sort of hold your hands up and say, that's the way I want you to play, and so these things sadly are going to happen occasionally? No,
I think, listen, as I said, we've kept 2 clean sheets in the last 2 games, 120 minutes in Slovakia, 90 minutes against Wales, and we were good defensively here, including Darren Randolph has been excellent for us. And you can't legislate for a mistake sometimes. And Darren's been very consistent for us. It was his 47th international tonight. And he's been very, very consistent, I think, for a number of years now. And just one of those things you have to accept. Difficult disappointing goal to give away, of course, but it's hard to believe we didn't score then with the opportunities in terms of in the crossbar, the posts and the saves that were made. So it's disappointing. A lot of the players come in, acquit themselves really well, so it's just we just have to accept the defeat.
A lot of positives, obviously, but it's 5 hours with no goals and a couple of defeats. I mean, how concerned are you about that? Well,
I think if you had everyone fit and you were playing in that, I think there's mitigating circumstances. We've lost 8 players through COVID-related issues, and we 3 players, including our captain Seamus Coleman and Harry Arthur, who were pulled out of the original squad, and then we've lost Dave McGoldrick and James McCarthy. So I think, there are factors. The fact that we could lose 8 players on the morning of the Welsh game and still go and play Wales and play really well, play reasonably well, and more than hold our own against Wales, it speaks volumes for the players, really, because they didn't deserve to lose in Slovakia. They were absolutely exceptional. Tonight, we had spells where we need to improve. There's no doubt on aspects of tonight, and then other times where we are very good. So it was a performance that was. Finland played well at times, and so did we. It was a pretty evenly contested match, and we had. Again, in the dressing room wondering, did we deserve to lose that? And the answer is no, we probably didn't, but we have done. So that's something that's not good enough from my point of view. But I think that, the players have shown real character, and the young players that have come in have shown a good mentality, and I would be optimistic that they will go on and be important players for Ireland.
And finally, obviously, you've been probably as badly hit as any country in the world, but a lot of countries have been hit by COVID this last week or so. Are you worried that perhaps the internationals next month in November, not just for you, but for all of Europe, might be cancelled because of this situation?
I honestly don't know. I was speaking to some of the senior management of the FAI. That doesn't seem to be the case, that there still is plans for the internationals to go ahead, and I think society must still continue to exist, amidst crisis. You still have society, you must try and still live as normally as you can. Do you cancel everything? For how long do you cancel it for? Do you cancel it till the vaccine is found? When is that? Nobody has the answers to that. So do you just give up? Or do you still accept that there will be issues, but you must, through the element of persistence, still the values that we learn in life and that's instilled in football, and the importance of football to the nation. Do we consider that and say, yeah, we'll still continue to play? So these are things that have to be discussed.
Stephen Kenny there speaking to Sky Sports, and with that I suspect he gets on a flight, gets home and tries to get a good night's sleep at some stage. What a week in his life, his head must be spinning. It has been eventful. We have Republic of Ireland internationals Richard Dunne and Stephanie Roche with us. Folks, thanks for hanging on. I know we were meant to start this about half an hour ago, but we are living in unusual times. Stephanie, your thoughts on the performance? Obviously result not what we wanted, but the performance?
Yeah, I think, look, it's more of the same, isn't it, really? I think there's positives to take out of the game, but I think obviously the worrying factor is that we've only scored 1 goal in 5 games, and that's come from Shane Duffy, a set piece, So I think we had chances in the game that we didn't finish off, so it was frustrating to watch at times, I think, as we've said over and over again, over the last few games, it's been positive. There has been more positives coming out of the games, but it's about now trying to figure out how we can get the results while bringing the positive play to it as well,
Richard, the stats looked very reasonable from an Irish perspective. They had more shots on target than the Finns. They had more shots off target than the Finns. They had 47% possession, which is very acceptable for an Irish side away from home. As Stephanie said, we're into same old story territory very early on here in Stephen Kenny's reign.
Yeah, and I think you have to be careful when we talk about the games and talk about it being a positive situation and stuff like that, because we're not winning games at the moment, and that's going to be a negative for all the players. They're not going to be happy that we're getting the ball, we're passing it a little bit better than previously, and for them, they want to win games, they want to qualify for the tournament. So in that sense, it's been a disappointing week. The positives will come when we put the ball in the back of the net, and instead of saying it was an unlucky defeat, it was a classy victory, and that's what we need to see from now on.
Regarding the general style of play, Richard, do you like what you're seeing? Do you like the intent to pass the ball? Do you like the way chances are being created?
I think it's good. I think the idea isn't necessarily a new one. We've had managers who've probably looked and tried to do that themselves, but then looked at the situation, the group of players that we have, and thought, well, winning games to qualify for tournaments is more important than any sort of style of football. When we keep the ball at the moment, it's very deliberate, very safe. We need to find that player who can make a penetrating pass, that centre forward who can make clever runs and finish these chances off, or else all the good work that does go on gets lost amidst the results.
I was listening to Damien Delaney talking on Virgin Television earlier, and he was saying, maybe on your point about the safe passing, that a team can get lulled into just keeping safe possession in the middle third. Are we doing that a little bit in your eye then? Is that what you're saying to me?
Yeah, slightly. I mean, going back to the game on Sunday, the Wales game, I think in the first half we had 100 passes more than Wales, but we had 1 pass less or something in there, the opposition half than them. You know, so that tells you where we're keeping the ball. We're passing the ball between the two centre halves, which goes down in the stats as a possession, but it doesn't affect the opposition as much. You know, teams at international level are happy to let you play in front of them, and at the moment, that's where we're at. We can't find that penetrating pass, and we certainly can't find the finishing touch.
Where are you in all this, Stephanie, on the type of possession that we're having?
Yeah, I think obviously the likes of maybe Hendricks and stuff has been getting a little bit of stick on Twitter tonight. I was on it and seeing quite a few negative comments coming back. But I think it is a combination of maybe the forward runs is what I think our attacking midfielder is kind of having to do a lot of other stuff. It isn't kind of the traditional number 10 role where he's able to sit in and find gaps and look for those players in behind. I think he's having to do a lot of kind of defensive work, and he's kind of the first to start the press. So he's doing a lot of work in there, but it's just kind of getting that next phase where he can actually make those penetrating passes and be in better positions. I think it's all fine and well keeping the ball and kind of having good possessions, but we need to be able to kind of make those killer passes. And I think, look, chances, there haven't been really many, maybe Horahan against Slovakia, there haven't been really many real clear-cut chances that maybe the likes of, obviously we speak about Robbie Keane all the time in terms of how we haven't been able to replace him in terms of centre forward and goals, but I think we're definitely missing that kind of killer edge, and I think that has to come down to the players. The players have to be ready to take the opportunities when they do fall to them.
Dave McGoldrick can drop in and pick a pass, you suspect. Wes Hoolahan, unfortunately, is retired. Jeff Hendricks trying to do it now. Do we have, Stephanie, the type of players who can play those killer passes? I mean, you're talking about half chances there as opposed to brilliant chances.
Yeah, I think, look, that's kind of what you're looking for, aren't you? You're looking, I mean, obviously Jack Byrne has been said a lot. He has that creativity and he has the eye for kind of that creative ball and that little through pass. But I think maybe when obviously David McGoldrick is playing, he is a player who likes to drop in and get on the ball, and maybe we need, again, the kind of attacking midfield player to get beyond and try and make that running behind, or the wingers maybe coming in to make that, because you need to obviously make the pitch long if you have your forward dropping in as well. So look, it's a difficult one. Like, who do you play there? Is maybe Alan Brown came in and he done quite well? Is Jack Byrne the answer? It's hard to know who the answer is, but you have to just look at the previous managers. Everybody seems to be playing Jeff Hendrick and giving him the opportunity to do it. So he's obviously doing something right, you know. I think he's at times frustrating to watch. I think he got caught in possession a couple of times tonight, but I think he always looks for the ball. He's never shying away from looking for him. So look, I think if players do come in and get the opportunity to play, they have to show that they're better than him and they're going to do more. And right now, I'm not sure who that player might be, you know.
Where are you and Hendrick, Richard?
I like him. I think obviously he's probably not lived up to the potential that he had when he first kicked on and started playing for Ireland. He's probably not achieved what we wanted him to do. But for me, I feel almost as if he's been too far up the pitch. You know, starting off too far up the pitch, and he'd be probably better a little bit deeper. And I agree with Stephanie in terms of, is that number 10 really a role anymore? You try and cover that space as a team, and your attacking midfielders push up. And I think, like Stephanie says, we haven't got that player who can do these passes. So why try and fit someone into a position that we can't really fill? I think the joy that we got tonight, a lot of it towards the end of the game, was when we got the ball wide and we got crosses in, and people think, well, that's going back to the old way, but it's not. That's how you play football. That's how you win games. You try one thing, if it doesn't work, you get down the lines, you cross the ball. And I think for us, it's important we don't get too focused on we need a number 10 or we need to pass the ball through the lines and all this stuff. If the option's there to go wide and get the ball in the box, why not take it?
It's true. There's that famous video of Zidane at halftime in a Champions League final, and all he said at halftime was get it out wide and swing it into the box. So, you know, there is joy to be found at times with that approach. Both your lines are just acting up a touch, so we're going to redial you, and while we're doing that, I'm going to throw to Aaron Connolly, who was speaking after the game. He gave a very honest interview, Connolly. Had some chances, and on one occasion absolutely should have squared the ball to Daryl Horgan and didn't. That comes up in this interview on Sky Sports. Have a listen.
I think we deserve to win that game. I'm not even sure what happened for the goal. Obviously we've lost at the back and they've punished us, but no, it's disappointing. It's another game that we haven't scored in, and I don't know, you feel like there's going to be a break sometime for us, and we'll put one in, but it just doesn't look like it's coming at the minute.
We just spoke to Enda Stevens. I don't think he saw it either. Did you literally sort of have your back to goal and you're walking towards the halfway line?
Sorry?
Were you walking towards the halfway line when the goal was scored?
Yeah, I didn't see what happened. So I'll need to see that back. But obviously, it's frustrating to concede and not get something out of the game when I thought we definitely did deserve something. So yeah, that's just the way it goes, I guess.
You looked absolutely desperate to try and get a goal today. You had a few sort of half opportunities. How did you assess them?
Selfish at times. Probably should have squared one to Darryl. I've tried to go at a tight angle, and it's them sort of moments that cost us the game. And I need to start looking at that side of my game and just game awareness really, and it's cost us, I think.
Is that because you've got such keenness and eagerness to get that goal?
Yeah, obviously as a striker you need to be selfish, but at times you need to know when to shoot and when to pass. But it's just one of them where I thought it was at the time I thought it was the best thing to shoot, but looking back on it, I definitely should be squaring that.
It's been an extraordinary week, really, for everybody in the camp, but particularly for you. You were holed up in a hotel on Thursday night for the Slovakia game. You went home, you came back, and now you're here tonight. How would you sum it up?
Frustrating. That's all I can say. In the UK, if that's the rules in the UK, well then I play the game 1.9 metres away from someone who ended up with a false positive. I don't want to go into it too much, but to miss a game like that, I might never get the chance to play in a game like that again. So to miss that game, it's frustrating, and I can't really put into words how frustrating it actually is.
Aaron Connolly there. We have Stephanie Roche and Richard Dunne with us. He's diagnosed an aspect of his play there himself, Richard. Selfish, need to develop awareness. He picked out the Horgan moment. I mean, if he had squared that to Horgan, you suspect that's a goal. You don't want to take selfishness totally away from a player, a forward player, but there's definitely occasions where he's not seeing the right option.
Yeah, I think it comes down to game intelligence, really. You know, centre forwards, they want to score goals, and if they get into the box, their first thought is to shoot. But it's just having that awareness, I suppose, to be able to almost sense people in better positions than you, rather than seeing them. You sort of go back, and Stephanie's talking about the goals that Robbie Keane scored, and it's like, well, you have someone there who can teach people this, but he's not involved. So it's something I think the FAI should have really worked on and tried to make sure that you have got someone with the intelligence and the game knowledge of Robbie Keane within the setup. Damien Duff could surely say that to him, though, no? Possibly, yeah, but Damien's a left winger, and you've got Addy wingers where they'll be desperate to hear what Damien says, but Damien will tell you himself he didn't score 50 goals for Ireland or whatever, you know. So it's like me, that I can't tell a centre forward how to make the moves like Robbie Keane can, and that's the thing. It's like he's there, so why not? Why didn't they use him? I don't know. Yeah, I guess it was Stephen's choice. I mean, Robbie still had a contract with the FAI, so he was there if Stephen Kenny wanted him. I guess you have to let the manager make that choice. Absolutely, and 100%. You have to back the manager wherever he does. I'm just saying that as an option, there is that option that he is there, he is available. And within our squad, we have a problem, and our main problem is scoring goals. And we have someone who can probably help out. And obviously, the manager wants to go a different way, and that's grand, but it's there. No, I take the point. Stephanie, thoughts on Connolly and his play? Like, stuff happens around him. He's a live wire for sure. Do you put it down to youth, the not seeing those passes? I mean, some players never see those passes. Even 10 years on, they're still doing those kind of things in those moments. Yeah, I think, look, it's kind of a bit of an experience, isn't it? I think he's definitely a bright prospect. I think every time he got the ball, you're kind of expecting something from him. And just at times, he kind of just didn't get his head up quick enough. He didn't pick the pass, and kind of a few times he could have set the ball off, if there was an option or an opportunity within the box where he kind of tried to turn and shoot, where you maybe could have set it off as well. So look, it's a learning experience for him. He needs to kind of learn as it goes on, but this is something that he needs to bring into his game, because you can see he definitely has kind of the talent to be able to, as I said, kind of get at defenders and make things happen. And he's definitely an exciting prospect, but it was frustrating at times to watch when he kind of didn't get his head up, and you can see the pass on, and so just get your head up and pass it. But look, as I said, he was very honest in his post-match interview as well, and I think he knows himself. He's
he's a professional, and he'll hopefully go away and work on that. And in the next few games in November, he'll be able to hopefully bring that back and add that to his game.
Yeah. So, Richard, in broad terms here, are you, to kind of do a final thought from both of you, are you generally optimistic here with what you're seeing and like what you're seeing, or is there a nagging worry that actually we're going down too much of the wrong road? It was kind of hard to get an overall feel for what you're making of
it. I'm hopeful. I hope that it turns. We need to be very careful that we don't sort of take this positive spin on things and let losing games be okay. There needs to be an element that the results are massively important. I think tonight you look at O'Day coming in at centre half. I thought he was excellent. I think Enda Stevens has been brilliant. I think there's really good sort of performances from the players. We just need to not accept that getting beat, drawing and nil, getting knocked out of the Euros is acceptable, and it's a positive, because the end result is we need to win games.
And it's kind of a seductive thing in some ways to come away from all these matches talking about how well we played, and maybe we're not used to having possession-based football, so we can get a bit too carried away with it. That's kind of your feeling.
Yeah, it's great. I'd love to see us play like that and we win the game. Then there's no complaints, there's no doubt from anybody. At the moment, we just haven't got over the line. We haven't finished off the chances that we've created, and I get there's a change and there's a new way and a new style of play that we want to get, but it can't sort of overtake the fact that we need results. For us to progress, for us to qualify, we need results, not performances.
And would you agree or not agree that this style of football is the best way to get results?
With the right team, it is. I think if we play like this, whether we can do this against Belgium or England or Germany, I don't know. You know, if we were to play a side like that, maybe our aspect would be to fight them, to battle with them, to make it uncomfortable for them. At the moment, the games are nice. They're nice-styled games. Our asset has always been that we make games nasty. People don't like playing against us. We do that while playing the ball, and if we can make the mix come together, then we'll obviously have a better chance. But I understand there's stages, and we're at the first stage, and they're kind of progress and they're changing things. They will add different elements to the game, as long as the goal is to try and qualify for the World Cup, to not in 10 years' time or whatever. Try and look at it for the group of players we have now, try and get them to the World Cup.
Stephanie, what about you there then in overall terms, based on these 5 games, no wins, 1 goal?
Yeah, I think obviously similar. I think senior international football, first and foremost, you need to win games. But I think just going back over, obviously the hype when Kenny came into the senior international team was about how well he done with the 21s, and you just have to look back at how he started off with the 21s. It was a similar start. I think he was trying to implement how he wanted to play and playing out from the back and possession-based football. And I think it's really is fine margins, because in those games with the 21s, he got the breaks, he got the little goal, he got the goals and the chances that they created. They were able to get the goals and get the wins in games. And like, I remember watching them against Sweden in stadium 1.5 time, and they came back out and they absolutely bossed the second half and really showed what they were about. So I think it's going to take time. I think really fans are going to have to be patient, because what he's trying to do, I think, is for the better of Irish football. I think it will be good for the future, but it's not going to happen overnight. And I think that's something that I think he's going to struggle with, because as Richard has said, we need to qualify for tournaments, and obviously these Nation Leagues games are important for rankings and for qualification going forward. So it's going to be, I think you have to be patient with what's happening and with the change that is there for Irish football. But I'm hoping that, as Richard said, we can kind of bring that playing style together, and also bring in what's been there in the past with the kind of hunger to win and the passion, and making it hard for teams to play.
Yeah, it's that tricky thing where everybody understands it's a process, and yet the games are also vital. There's not much room to go on a losing streak or not to get results. By the way, it's just gone 1-0 Wales full time against Bulgaria. So as for Nations League B Group 4, it is Wales top on 10 points, Finland on 9 points, Ireland are on 2 points, Bulgaria 1. There is relegation this year, so that is one thing Ireland will absolutely want to avoid in the Nations League. Just a very final point, Richard. We'd Vinnie Perth on earlier. You mentioned Dara O'Shea. Vinnie Perth was saying he was texting you during the game saying he was half reminded of you. So It's a very good debut for a guy. Slaven Bilic loves his attitude. We had him on the show a couple of weeks back. Seems to be an old head on young shoulders, very focused, no nonsense type. You liked what you saw?
I thought he did very well tonight. I think he was captain of West Brom, or maybe previously, and he's very young. He seems very composed tonight, and he looked like it wasn't his first international. So it's a real positive to come out of the week that we've had, and yeah, I need many more performances like that. He'd be putting pressure, I think, on Egan and Shane Duffy to claim a starting place.
Okay, well listen, thanks so much to both of you for hanging on with all the COVID stuff earlier on. Stephanie Roche, Richard Dunne, much appreciated. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
We will take a very short break. OTB AM will be coming at you tomorrow morning, 7:30, with more reaction to tonight's game. And again, confirmation, Wales 1, Bulgaria 0. So Ireland, second bottom of the group, 2 points to Bulgaria's 1 point. Back in 1 sec.
Football on Off the Ball
with Paddy Power. New normal, same old football. Paddy Power. Gamble responsibly. Gamblingcare.ie.
My bio. Fisherman interested in real genuine things like catching beautiful fish, long walks on the boat, organising ideas on file, and likes getting caught in the Atlantic Sea rain. Nobody in your area.
Tasty, protein-packed fish fillets you're sure to love. Donegal Catch. We're all about the fish.
If you're selling or distributing UK products in Ireland, then with Brexit approaching, it's time to get ready for a whole new ball game.
15 all.
That's right. From January 1st, 2021, the rules of the game will change for sellers and distributors of UK products in Ireland. Get ready for the change today. Visit ccpc.ie/Brexit. From the Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. Getting Ireland Brexit ready. A Government of Ireland initiative.
VHI Life is more than just a decision to get life insurance. It's a decision to live life with less worry, to not think twice about the financial security of your children, and to give your partner peace of mind. VHI Life. It's a good decision for life. For a quote, call 8090 444444. Terms and conditions apply. VHI Healthcare Act trading as VHI Healthcare is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland and is tied to Zurich Life Assurance plc for VHI Life Term Insurance.
Certainty. With Volkswagen commercial vehicles, it's included as standard. The Crafter, Transporter and the all-new 5th generation Caddy are more innovative, dynamic and efficient than ever before. Now with HP Finance from 0%, purchase contributions of up to €3,500 and service plans from €9.99. They're the smart next step for your business. For vans and offers you can rely on always. Contact your local Volkswagen commercial vehicles dealer or visit volkswagenvans.ie and leave the rest to us. Finance provided by way of hire purchase agreement from Volkswagen Financial Services Ireland and subject to lending criteria. Terms and conditions apply.
This October, watch the big games every weekend with Sky Sports and Sports Extra half price. This week, it's Man City Arsenal live only on Sky Sports. The Apprentice
the side have shown real character.
Takes on the Master.
Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, history makers.
Get Sky Sports, BT Sport and Premier Sports half price for 6 months. Search Sky Sports Sale. New sports customers only. Standard pricing applies after 6 months or if cancelling one element of the bundle. Minimum term and further terms apply.
Football on Off the Ball
with Paddy Power. Minimal contact in stadiums shouldn't stop the usual suspects from going down. Gamble responsibly. Gamblingcare.ie.
So, man oh man, long day. Long day. It has felt in some ways like we are saying exactly the same things after all of these 3 Ireland games. Just need someone to score a goal is kind of where we are. I'm looking forward in a way to Premier League back this weekend. Live commentary on Sundays and Off the Ball. John Giles will be on the show tomorrow. He'll give some final thoughts on the match. I suspect he also thinks we need someone to score goals. We'll have David Clifford and his Kerry manager Peter Keane in conversations as well. It was recorded as part of our first Super Value Roadshow this season. Damien Comer, Ryan McHugh, part of those, and Kieran Donaghy did an interview with Bernard Brogan as well, all under the umbrella of those Super Value Roadshows. They're available on the OTB Sports app. Tomorrow morning, OTB AM, Enda McGinley is going to be with the lads. The National League restarts this weekend. They will also have Jason Sherlock and plenty more reaction to tonight's match as well. And then a little bit further out in the horizon, our Cadbury's FC roadshows continue. So far, we've had the likes of Gary Neville and Teddy Sheringham. We've had Packy Bonner and Shay Given, Sol Campbell and Ian Wright. Our next duo coming up very soon, Nathan will be talking to Glenn Hoddle and Harry Redknapp. So keep an eye on our social channels for details. That's going to be in the next 10 days or so. All with thanks to Cadbury FC. Check out cadburyfc.com for updates on promotions and giveaways. You will get all of tonight's show, including Matt Williams, on Wednesday Night Rugby on the app as well, or on YouTube, or on podcast, or any number of other places. So that is us pretty much done. Thanks as ever for all the tweets and texts. Tom Dunne is on the way. Good luck.